So I'm gonna go ahead and discuss something that is of interest of mine, and that has to be music. Specifically, the new school hip hop and rap music versus old school hip hop and rap music. Now, for me, the main era of hip hop and rap music that I enjoyed listening to the most would have to be the 90s up until the early mid 2000s. Okay? Some of the artists that I've listened to would be guys such as Tupac, Nas, Wu-Tang Clan, Ice Cube, Outkast, let's see, 3 6 Mafia, Scarface and the Ghetto Boys, and what else? Mobb Deep, let's see, Pete Rock and CL Smooth, A Tribe Called Quest, and a bunch of others of various regions of the United States that are underground or were considered mainstream at the time. Oh, Busta Rhymes was a big one back in high school for me, and I still listen to him today. Let's see, Big Pun, and what it is that these rappers have in common was that they all had their own style, and they all were very clever with their lyrical wordplay, and they had substance. And nobody sounded exactly like each other. They all had their own sort of unique style, and they rapped about things in which went beyond just the regular bitches and hoes and partying and all that other nonsense. But nowadays, it's like when I listen to this new rap, I was checking out this new rapper because my landlord's grandson came on over and showed us this rapper named OGZ. And he's considered like one of the latest LA rappers, I believe. And I was not impressed at all. He asked us, what do you think about this guy, OGZ, on a rating? I said, I give him a 1 out of 5. He said, a 1 out of 5? I said, yeah, man. I mean, this type of nonsense is just like, there's no real substance to it. He sounds like a complete moron. He raps about something that really doesn't have any depth to it. And it's just like, this is just a waste of my ears right here. That's the problem with a lot of rappers nowadays, is that a lot of these rappers sound pretty much the same, and the music is based on just stuff that has no real substance to it. All it is just bitches and hoes, partying, and doing drugs. And it's just like, yeah, rappers back in the days talked about it, but it wasn't as prevalent as it is now. And it just seems as though to me that the only rappers that really have substance and you can really go ahead and get something out of are the ones that are in the underground scene. I would rather listen to someone who makes music out of the garage, but they write and produce their own songs and make their own beats, than like at least 95% of all these new guys that are popping nowadays. Especially that are like, man, get that fucking shit out of here, man. I don't need to hear that nonsense. Really. I got way too many functioning brain cells within my skull to want to listen to that garbage. And even not just that, it's like these rappers sound like they have barely 2 functioning brain cells in their skull, especially after sipping on all that lean, smoking all that weed, which I don't do anymore. I'm 4 months clean and sober now, and doing all those Xanax and ecstasy pills that they be talking about. And that's just with the males. With the females, however, like I said in one of my previous videos, it's like you cannot make it as a female rapper nowadays if you don't advertise yourself as being a prostitute or a whore. Like these latest female rappers like Ice Spice and Lotto and Cardi B, who's been around for a little while, who also raps about being a stripper and a prostitute and just using different men for their money by using her body. And Nicki Minaj, who's been probably the biggest and most popular female rapper for like the past almost 15 years. I still remember when she came out in high school, when she was part of Young Money and Lil Wayne, and she still raps the same stuff. Okay, I guess it's my turn. I guess it's time to put this pussy on your sideburns. And it's just like, that's all that she raps about. She raps about, her pussy, ass, and titties, and being a prostitute. And I even have this one joke for her about how she is. Why does Nicki Minaj call herself Barbie? Any guesses? because she's made out of plastic. And I think, she's fake. No, I don't like Nicki Minaj. I think she's a fake manufactured artist that is very popular because she's jammed down the throats of all these young, naive teenage girls and even young guys who honestly are gay. Like, I know this one young kid at work who's gay that loves Nicki Minaj, and I can imagine that only men who are gay or with young, naive teenage girls listen to her. And the thing is that also in the music industry nowadays is that you cannot make it unless you sell your soul and you do all these things in order to go ahead and make it big. You gotta rap about all this nonsense, and if you're a female, you have to go ahead and advertise yourself as a prostitute. Like I said in one of my previous videos, that in this day and age, some of the biggest pimps in the world are the music industry, because they're convincing all these young girls to go ahead and twerk on stage, to go and act all sultry in their music videos, licking their tongue, grabbing their titties, showing off their ass, whatever, because they know that sex sells. Like this one old school pimp, I remember Fillmore Slim said, "Pussy will sell when cotton and corn won't." And that's just what it is. A lot of these female rappers are just a bunch of prostitutes, and a lot of these other rappers, male rappers, are just a bunch of lame gangsters and drug dealers and drug users. It used to be that back in the days, rappers didn't rap about that stuff all the time. Yeah, they were drug dealers and gangbangers, but they didn't rap so much about doing dumb shit like doing a lot of ecstasy pills or Xanax pills or sipping on a lot of lean. They kept that stuff a secret. Like this one old school rapper named DMC from Run DMC said that Run DMC smoked more weed than the entire planet, but they didn't rap about it. They kept it under the radar. And then I don't think it's that bad for rappers to talk about smoking weed. I used to do it, but I don't do it anymore because I realize that it's just a waste of my time and energy. If you still want to smoke a lot of weed, then so be it, that's fine. But there's a lot more substance in the world than just rapping about doing drugs. And it's like, even this one old school rapper that I listen to, who's one of the original hardcore gangster rappers, Spice One, from the East Bay. And he's a legend. He and Tupac were even best friends. He talked about how rappers talk about doing drugs. And it's like, imagine back in the days that we had a rapper by the name of MC Crackhead. MC Crackhead. And he would go and go up stage. He'd be all looking like that, smoking on a pipe on stage. And all the kids in the audience are like, "Yeah, we're going to smoke crack because of you." So that's the same sort of logic a lot of these rappers are doing nowadays. They're talking about doing drugs all the time, which is a bunch of nonsense. I mean, drugs really are not good for you, and the only reason why you do them is because you want to escape from your boring, unhappy, and miserable lives, or you're doing it because you want to fit in with what the other kids are doing at the party. Like this young guy that showed me this rap up by OGZ and all the stuff about doing drugs and sipping lean. It's like he's going to parties and he's going to raves because he thinks that it's cool. He wants to fit in and follow the crowd. But that's just a bunch of dumb shit, man. It seriously is a bunch of dumb shit. Like, one of the main reasons why I love listening to guys like Tupac is because Tupac had music that had a lot of range and substance to it. Tupac rapped about many different things. Injustice in the world through politics and oppression and poverty. He also rapped about the thugs and the gangsters and what they go through. He rapped about women who are righteous females and ladies, and also women who are scandalous skeezers and funky bitches, like Smackwater described them. He also talked about relationships with they had in the past with women. He rapped about his own personal struggles in life. He had a range of topics, and also he had great lyrical skill, even though he wasn't consistently lyrical at all times, and a great work ethic. And he put his heart and soul into making some of the best music that he could in order to make an impact on the world. And that's why his legacy still lives on today. But a lot of these young kids, they don't appreciate guys like Tupac. Like, I remember a few years ago, there was this one video of this rapper Lil Xan saying that, oh, Tupac's music is boring. And then not too long afterwards, he was jumped, literally getting jumped by young, angry Tupac fans. And it's like, you better be careful with your mouth, man, because I've hung around guys who were gangsters before, and they love Tupac because he represented their struggles of being a thug and being at the bottom. So, yeah, this is a generation that's way out of whack, as the music really has no substance or soul whatsoever. And if it does, it's far and few and in between, and you got to go into the underground hip-hop scene. I mean, there have been some guys in this generation that are pretty good. I mean, well, within the past 10 years, you had like Kendrick Lamar and maybe J. Cole. Like, one of the most recent albums that really blew me away, since I'm an old head, as these young kids would call them, would be Good Kid, Mad City by Kendrick Lamar. That was a really good album. Was it a great album? I mean, a great album for me would be one of the classic albums from the 90s and early 2000s. That's for me. Like, some of my favorite albums would be albums like Me Against the World by Tupac, Death Certificate by Ice Cube, Akamani by Outkast, The Low End Theory by A Tribe Called Quest, Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers by Wu-Tang Clan, and what else? There's a ton of them, actually, from that era. I mean, the 90s was, for me, the best era for music, period. But this generation now, honestly, is trash. I can't really name one rapper within the past 10 years, other than those guys, that I would say, whoa, this guy really blows me away. It's like, it doesn't have really any heart, soul, or substance, or even intelligence to it anymore. It's a lot of mindless garbage. And it's like, nowadays, even these young kids are starting to tap into the old school style. I hear a lot of rappers now, like even that guy OGZ did a song with the beat to the song Freak a Leak by P. Pablo, which is a song about having sex with women and women shaking their asses and all that other stuff. And even like I noticed nowadays, all these young kids are starting to wear the old school t-shirts of all these rappers I listened to back in the days. You know, like 50 Cent or Outkast or Tupac or Ice Cube. Ask him, what's your favorite song? I don't have a favorite song. I just like the shirt. I think, you know what they would call you back in the days if you wore a shirt like that and you can't name one favorite song by a rapper that you have on that shirt? They call you a poser. I even tell these young kids, you ought to listen to these albums just so you can get an idea of where they're coming from. Like, I saw this one young girl at the swap meet, and she had an Ice Cube t-shirt. I said, what do you know about Ice Cube? She was like a young girl that's probably like 11, 12 years old. I said, here, listen to these two albums by Ice Cube that are one of my favorites, Death Certificate and The Predator. You know, they'll give you an idea about what it's like growing up in the hood and what it's like to go through the struggle, okay? I was like, yeah, this is a generation of a lot of fakes and lames and posers and morons. And it's just like, I don't identify with it really at all. No. You can call me old, you can call me a dinosaur, I don't care. Because I would much rather listen to the old school shit than any of this new shit, which is actually shit. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and just leave it at that for today. Just thought I might go ahead and do a quick video about what I think about all this new music now. I support the real, don't support the phonies, like Tupac said. Next time you listen to a rapper or any artist, don't just bob your head to the beat. Listen to what they're saying and tell me if that shit is real. Anyways, this is Dre's Journey. I'm out. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Have a nice day. Peace.